So after meditating on the mind is the knowledge what Satyagama acquired from the swan, the Madguru. He proceeds then he proceeds to Gurukula, because all the 4 multiplied by 4, 16 kalas, 16 types of meditations, dhyanam, Satyagama gained from those devatas who are the ruling devatas. Then he proceeds to the Gurukula. Prapa Acharya Kulam Tamacharyo Bhyuvada Satyakamam Iti Bhagavat Idiha Pratishrava. In section 9 of the 4th chapter, Bhagavan he says, he reached the house of the hermitage, and the teacher addressed him, "Hey Satyakama, iti." Then Satyakama responded, "Hey Bhagavan, iti pratishruvata." Pratishrava. He responded to that. Specifically, the various kinds of teachers are there. There are teachers who teach us the knowledge from the books, from whatever they could learn is called the teachers. Then there comes the gurus and the acharyas. Say, even though there are 2 words, one is a guru, another is an acharya. Acharya is the one who does the acharana of, we have explained about this earlier, I think. Acharana of the Brahma Patham. The one who lives in the Brahmanistha and Brahmapada is an acharya who holds your hands and takes towards the path of the Brahmajnanam, is called an acharya. This day you will find that a lot of people are like acharyas, Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya. Acharyas are those who holds your hands. Through the knowledge, they take you towards the path towards it. Gurus they reveals the light inside you, from the darkness to the brightness. Guhu to the Ruhu, from the darkness to the light. So these are the kinds of people. So here he says about the Tam Acharya one. So Satyagama is going to the Acharya, who propagates, who teaches, who propagates, who does the pravachana, who does the path. He has got the powers of holding the disciple towards the path of the Brahma Patha. Such Acharya we said. So he says, Brahma vividavai somya bhasi kono tvanushashase tanye manushye pratijajne bhagavan swateva me kame bruyat. Brahma Vidivai Saumya Bhasi. Saumya, hey Saumya. Acharya said, hey Soma Bhava, hey Soma, hey Saumya. You are Brahma Vidihi Bhasi Kenu Tuanu Anshashati. You are shining like the brightness who has got the Brahma Vidya. There's a shine you can see in the one who has got the aura will be different. Their eyes will be different. Their vision will be different. Their eyes will be different because what they are seeing is the Brahman. So even the organ, simple organ like it's only a lens. It has no other. It's only a prana. It's only a lens. Even the eyes become different when they are the Brahmajnanis. So he said, oh Saumya, you are shining like the one who is the knower of the Brahman. That means you have got the Brahma Sakshatkaram. So he is asking, Tva ko nu Tva anushashase pyante. Who did instruct you these great knowledges? Who taught you, who instructed you great knowledges? Hey, Satyakama, will you tell me? His Acharya is asking him. Hey Bhagavan, Pratijajne, hey Bhagavan, Bruyat. Then Satyakama said, hey Bhagavan, Manushye iti Pratijajne. Manushye iti Pratijajne, Bhagavat, Sumeva me kame madbruyat. It's not the human beings, hey Bhagavan, it's not the human beings, somebody above the human beings who are the devatas. That means devatas. Somebody who are above the human beings, hey Bhagavan. But the listening the knowledge and perceiving the knowledge and becoming the knowledge are totally different. So, Pratijajne Bhagavat Swatyeva. Hey Bhagavan, it is you who should instruct me for me kame to fulfill my desires. Me kame, to fulfill my desires. Hey Bhagavan, it is you who has to instruct. Is what the literal meaning is. Where he means here, he who else that is human being would dare to instruct me, his meaning is that he is interpreting here, Maharshi, who else that is the human being who would dare to instruct me, who am your disciple, who would dare to instruct me, any human being, and being your disciple, hey Bhagavan, who can instruct me? Nobody has got the capacity to instruct me. Therefore, he confirmed that they are the other human beings, other than human beings, hey Bhagavan. But it is you indeed, the revered one, who should instruct me for fulfilling my wish. Of what account is spoken of others, I do not attach much importance to that, is what Satyakama expressed. Here, this paragraph has got a lot of interpretations. Even though simple words, Manushyepe iti pratijajne Bhagavan stvatveva me kame bruyat. It's one sentence. This, the lots of things Satyakama is expressing to the Acharya. Hey Acharya, I am the disciple of yours, and who dare to instruct me, in the sense, an acharya like you, who is highly knowledgeable, who is a Brahma Sakshatkari, even though I have not got the Brahma Sakshatkaram, just being your disciple, who would come and instruct me? Look at his confidence and look at his reverence to the Acharya. Just being by his Acharya. He says, asking who instructed you. That means before his Brahma Sakshatkara. The status is before Brahma Sakshatkara. Even if it is before the Brahma Sakshatkaram, just being in the position of your disciple, who can come and instruct me? That is one. Second is that I, having come to you and expressed my desire of Satyagama, went to the Acharya and expressed his desire, having the Jnanam, Brahma Sakshatkaram, from him, through him. So my attention is only to you. Even though I might have heard the Devatas talking to me about this, but as an instructions to perceive the Jnanam into me in order to transform me into that state, it is your instruction only that can make me transform. I might have known the knowledge from the others, but my transformation has not taken place. It was an awareness. You all did it. Why you did it? Agni did it. And then the bird, swan did it. All they have told, whatever their opinion is theirs. But putting all of them together, making me transform into that position, who else can do it other than you? Why? Because you have initiated me into the discipleship. Having initiated, having dīksha, given dīksha, the path is open only to you. You only know how to transmit them into me for the purpose of transformation. This is not for the this is not meant for the purpose of just listening and keeping it or writing it and remembering it. Not in the memory. It's not meant for that. For that I have heard, it is in my memory. But what good it is for me? He said, you meditate on this, you will win over these worlds. You meditate on that, you will win over that worlds. I know that. But I have not won over those worlds. It has not happened to me. Only thing I have heard about them. Yes. So for me to bring the transformation into me, it is not the listening or the memory or memorizing them that is important to me. Is why he said that I do not bother about that. That's spoken by others. There's a specific reason behind it. Why? Because you being the path through which I am to, what for I am listening this? These are meant for the Brahma Sakshatkaram. It is not for remembering that how should I meditate, or what should be the Agni, what should be the Antariksha, what should be the Bhumi. What is the purpose of knowing all this? I know all that. But the purpose of knowing all this is meant for me to transform as the Brahma Sakshatkari. That connection with this knowledge and how this has to be applied by me or how this can transform me into it, that ingredient in that has not been added. It is only that explanation has been given. Okay. But the ingredient for making this explanation practically applying to my mind and making my mind to transform into Brahma Sakshatkari, not getting stuck only in the knowledge of the Bhumi, Antariksha and Akasha and the Vayu. Yes, Panchabhutas, connection of Panchabhutas, but transforming into that can be done only by you, because the path is only you. Yeah, Acharya. It's not simply said that, it's not that, no, why did I explain this? It's not simply Satyapa Kama, just for praising the Guru, he has not told that. He also knows, because he is an Acharya, you cannot just praise him just like that. He knows what is he doing. What for? Why is this man telling this? He knows. Because he is a great jnani. Yes. So you cannot just tell like that. So when he says that, and it's, as I told you earlier also, Satya Kama, he himself is a man who believes in Satya, who follows Satya, who observes Satya, you see. So that's how he got the discipleship himself. So what he said, what he expresses is absolutely true. Hey Bhagwan, I have heard this from other than the human being, because nobody could approach me as the disciple of you. Everyone knows that I am your disciple. So they could participate, whatever prelogue that is necessary for me to transform. This help has been given to me. Why this help has been extended to me? Because of my tapasya in the Aranya for all these years. Because of my tapasya, the tapobhala has to have a tapobhala. That tapobhala which has been acquired by the devatas have to contribute something for me as a reward of my tapasya. So it has to be told, and it has been told. But what happened? That each one said that, come on, let us go now to the Acharya, is what they said. But in the process, while walking to the Acharya, having done the tapasya, this preparation of the mind has been given to me by the devatas. So he also says, hey Bhagavan, when I come to you, it is not that an ordinary human being will prepare me to get the deeksha from you for the purpose of transformation. You being the Acharya of mine, before I come to you, the devatas are the ones who have prepared me and sent you here to take care of my transformation. Because you are at the position above the devatas is what Satyakama is placing him there, Acharya. And that's the way it is. So who else other than the devatas who can prepare me to receive the methodology of the transformation of the mind from you other than the devatas? Because you are much above them, and you are the one who have to correlate these and then put in such a manner and transmit that knowledge into me, so that the perseverance capacity of my mind for the purpose of transformation, not for remembering the subject. One is studies of the subject. Another is that utility of the gist of that. Now the rasa of all that is taken without having an explanation of the knowledge for the mind to get the remembrance, memory of those details of the ideas of the items of Panchabhutas, but taking the totality, rasa of that and applying it in such a manner so that the mind gets easily transformed to Brahma Sakshatkaram, instead of getting stuck into the studies of those details through meditation, like Bhumi, Vayu, Akasha, Surya, and through this they asked me to meditate. They said, you meditate on this, you can find the Brahman. Somebody said, you meditate on this, you will find the Brahman. Yes, now you imagine all those 16 meditations which I am supposed to do, and get into the meditation and then get into the Brahma Sakshatkaram. How many ages, how many years it will pass. But having told that this is what it is the information that I have got, but you are the one who will put all these 16 knowledges into a capsule depending upon its intensity, without only transmitting the knowledge as it is for me to remember and meditate on. Instead of that, you putting them together as a as a catalyst, and then putting it into my mind so that immediately I get transformed into a Brahma Sakshatkar. One is that you study all this and go through the meditation, then gain the tapobhala, gain this, and gradually come 16 kalas have to be passed through. And that too is not that easy. All the 4 padas of each item has to be meditated on, and we know over that, you see, is what they told me. But hey Acharya, my attention, my meditation is that, what did I do after listening that? Yes, they were all knowledges. I heard them, remembered them, I am sure I know about them. But what did I do? Having known all that, where to go? Nowhere else, not sitting on the way and start meditating. Okay, because they have told. You see, that's also the quality of the disciple. Not that because Devata has come and told me, oh, now why should I go to Acharya? Vayu himself has come, Agni himself has come and taught me all these things. So let me sit here and meditate. I will go there. I don't have to go to the Acharya again back. Acharya has not called me. Or I have got the best knowledge from somebody else. Yes, they are the one because they are the Devatas. Why not I gain through that instead of following that Acharya who is sitting in that hut? He did not think that. Where did I go? For me, the abode of the Brahman is you. That's all. Even though I heard from, see, you have to understand this stanza very well. Even though I heard from the Devatas themselves, who are the source of the, or who are the Panchabhutas. I heard from the horse's mouth. No. They are the ones who are the, Agni is the one of the Panchabhuta. Agni is teaching me. Vayu is teaching me. Antariksha is teaching me. Akasha is teaching me. Even though they themselves are the Panchabhutas, even though they themselves are the knowledge of these particular, but they individually came and said that, look, the next knowledge will be parted by so and so. Satyagama understood it is incomplete, the knowledge. Yes. Understood? Agni told his part, so and so Vayu told his part, and so told that part, Antariksha told that part. But none of them told all together. Satyagama was very intelligent that way. He said everyone told, even though they are Devatas. But nobody told me what Acharya would instruct me as. I had expressed my karma, my desire of being the, what he desired? Hey Acharya, I would like to get the jnanam, sakshatkaram from you, through you. That statement I made on the first day of joining the school. I still remember. I have not changed my statement. Is what Satyagama said. So, even though all of them have told, but how this Agni, Vayu, Antariksha, Akasha and Prithvi and then all Jala and all that have to be considered too for the purpose of the Atma Sakshatkaram. How the tapo bhala out of that will reach me towards that. How the jnanam has to be derived from those. Even though they told that you meditate on that, you will get it. He has told the process. But how to gain that jnanam so that I can have the Brahma Sakshatkaram immediately. That having surrendered to you. Another principle is that having surrendered to you, where else I have already surrendered to you before going to the Aranya. Along with the cows itself, I have surrendered to you. The me is no more there. Yes. The I is no more there. It is surrendered to you. The one whom you have sent is not that me. You have sent somebody. It's not Satyakama who came to you. You sent somebody to do tapasya. He heard it from the Agni, Vayu and others. I, who is the one who has asked you to give me the transformation through you only. Having surrendered to you, the me is no more left. It is with you only. So you have to transform. It's another angle of looking at it. Having so said, Satyakama, so the Acharya said, having heard very carefully, Acharya heard it very carefully, each and every word spoke. Is it for this purpose? Is it for any advantage? Or is he doing this? Is he praising me? Or is he telling lies? No, everything was a fact. Whatever Satyakama expressed was the truth, absolute truth, because Acharya knew, even though the Panchabhutas are the part of the Prakriti, the control of the Panchabhutas are done by the Maharishis and Tapasvis. The control of Panchabhutas, they are individually responsible for keeping the Prakriti alive, they with acting, doing their own part of it. But the control of Panchabhuta can be done only by Purusha or the Prakriti, or the Tapasvis and Jnanis can only do that. So instead of he traveling through all this, the Prakriti Niyama, he being the disciple, sincere disciple, it's the Acharya here who can take him straight to the absolute transformation, to the Parabrahma Sakshatkaram, putting all that knowledge into the right process so that it can be transmitted to him for the purpose of transformation. Is that there is two different things. One is knowing that, another is that utilizing it. Just knowing the tea is grown in the garden, in the estates. It is plucked and dried and then put into factories, made powder or leaf, and then flavored and come to you for the cooking, and then you put it in the water, boil it, and then you drink the tea, and this is the taste of the tea. Instead of that, going through all that, without doing all this process, when to go to the Acharya, he directly makes you, without going to the process of knowledge of all these things, he directly makes you to the impact of having taken the tea. Not even drinking. He knows what is the purpose of drinking the tea. The ultimate result of drinking it is for the purpose of this X. He takes you to X instead of going through all this. Having known the X, then he can go back and try to find out from where it has come, then it is a different thing. But he takes you to the X. But the other one has told to go through all these things and find the taste and then come to the X. It's the difference. Yes, I got it. That's why you might know that there should be a question, why after knowing all these things, why Satyakama has come back to Acharya? And why Satyakama is asking him to give me the knowledge. You see, this is the purpose of it. So he said, Acharya, I have heard it very carefully. Shrutaha, everything very carefully. He heard Shrutaha. Heva me bhagavad uddesham Acharya deva vidya vidita sadhishtam prapatiti tasmai haita devo vachatraha na kinchana vyayeti iti navama khanda samaptam. Bhagavan, the Acharya heard it very carefully, heard from him. So he said, for it has been certainly heard by me from the venerable ones like you, knowledge acquired from the teacher alone surely becomes the best. To him, he is imparting the knowledge. So he says that. So Satyakama says, Hey Bhagavan, from venerable ones like you, from the knowers of the truth, knower of the truth. The others are process to the truth. This is what exactly he said. The knowers of the truth, who are of your status, that knowledge. What is that status? Because he is the Siddha. He is a Siddha of the Brahma Sakshatkara. He is a recipient of the Brahma Sakshatkara. So he, being that, from the teacher alone surely becomes the best. Therefore, hey, Venerable One, alone should speak. Being told so, the teacher imparted this very knowledge that was imparted by the gods. So when he has expressed this, as he said, Acharya heard it very carefully, found out the truth. Then he told, yes, Satyakama, now you be prepared for listening that. And then he imparted the total knowledge of what has been happening, what has happened from all these, starting from the Prithivi to the Brahmaloka. All that has been put into the way it can be consumed and utilized for the mind to transform him to the Atma Sakshatkaram and Brahma Sakshatkaram. And in few seconds, that which has happened for so many years for him, yes, this is another thing. That's the power of the Acharya. Having done so much of tapasya in the Aranya, having done so much of listening and learning through the process of walking towards the Acharya's house, all this, Acharya in few seconds of time sat down, transmitted the knowledge, so that what happened? He is not perceiving it, he is practically, he having surrendered. It was easy for Acharya to just turn it like this. That's all he has done. It was like this, so he turned it like this, that's all. So what happens? Within a fraction of a second, the whole knowledge has been transmitted as an explosion happening in Satyakama, and he transformed into the Brahma Sakshatkari. He did not take all these years. But for the purpose of this to receive in him, Satyakama had to be purifying himself. See? Establish himself. What is that purification? Why the same thing was not done by the Acharya when Satyakama went to him? He knew that he is a true boy. He is telling the truth. So why did he not? Since Acharya is having the capacity. Acharya could make Satyakama sit down and transmit this immediately. Why he did not do it? Why did he send him with all these cows and all that we said? All that knowledge and preparations. Go and do tapasya for years. Why did he make him? Who made all these preparations for the Devatas to advise him? So all is Maya. Why He was testing Satyakama whether he will get attracted to Devatas, whether he will go, because they have advised him, whether he will think that, they are superior than the Acharya, so let me follow. There are people who take advantage of, no. He is only small Acharya sitting in the small hutman, but where Devata, Vayudeva came and instructed me. Let me go with him. From outside. So Acharya was testing him, giving all the pralobhana, encouragements for all these things, So he gave him all the loose rope that you go ahead. He wanted to establish his absolute dependency, truth. Dependency here is that, not as a negative, this one, dependency to the Acharya as an absolute true disciple of him, which in toto, in point to point, Satyakama proved that, hey Bhagavan, Vayu Bhagavan or Agni Bhagavan is nothing for me. You see, I would like to even though they have told me these things, I want to get transformed only through you because I have surrendered to you. This was the purpose why Satyakama was put into all this. Otherwise, he could have done the same fraction of a second was available with Acharya even on that day. But he waited that once to apply that 1 second to him for him to undergo the process of purification in order to prepare himself to be that. Because Acharya wanted that he should be perfect, he should be eligible to receive it. It's not just like that. Not like Indra, not like others who are desirous and then deviate from the path after receiving the powers. Like Asuras, after receiving the powers, they deviate from the path of the honesty, and change themselves. Oh, you see, having got from them, he becomes the enemy of the Devata himself, having got the powers from them. So such things happen for such disciples, and they are only creating destruction. So unless that purity is there, unless that absolute dependency to the truth or to the absolute truth, if that attachment is not there, if that value is not there, if he doesn't know the discipline of that, he will not be eligible to become that. That's why even the Brahma Rishis, I told long back, I think, that people who went to have the position of the Brahma Rishi, Narada is a Brahma Rishi. So the others are also equally powerful and jnanis. So there are stories about many rishis go for interview, and then attend the interview for Brahma Rishitva. Everyone is capable, equally powerful, equally having the tapophala, everything. But each one has got their own minus points has been created, where the ahankara came or something else came, where the power came and all that. So they were not selected as Brahma Rishis, even though they are Maharishis, even though they are Acharyas, even though great they have been even respected by the Devas, not Devatas, Devas, respected by the Devas, but still they did not become the Devarishi. Same way, the disciple to become that, he has to have the absolute purity and purification, where his strong faith in that has to be there, that ekagrata has to be there, that understanding has to be there. This is called purification, process of the purification. So that was being tested to Satyakama, and Satyakama has won that. In the tapasya, that is very important, in Brahma Patha, especially walking on the spiritual path. It's a very important point one has to know. That's why they have specifically told that the path has to be chosen and it cannot deviate in between. In between, changing in the sense he is not yet ready for that path. If the mind says, no, this is not right, go to change, that means you are not ready for that. Readiness has to be, absolute faith has to be. Where in Satyakama's case, there was no doubt that I have to go back to Acharya only. Because he knows that through that only he can attain it. And through that only he will attain it. Rather. So this was the decision. So he said, so nothing whatsoever left out, nothing whatsoever consisting of the 16 parts, nothing remained left out. The repetition of the same is to indicate the end of the meditation. So ultimately, Satyakama got that, and then it's over. And now the section 9 is finished. Now comes to 4.10.1. We have to do some meditations now. It's time. After, may not be today. Here in this chapter, section 10, is practically, what I find, is practically a repetition of the chapter 9, but in a slightly different form, that's all, nothing other than that. So only the first sloka and second sloka we go through. and rest we will have to just browse through, because more or less subject is more or less same. Only he has put it in a different manner. Probably Maharshi wanted this, as I told you, this is meant for those who are in the Aranyaka. This comes from the Aranyaka. This chapter is from Aranyaka, from the Vedic Aranyaka. Aranyaka is that where the sannyasi sits in the Aranya and then meditates for the Brahmasatya, the final point of the transformation from the human to the Brahman. That's why the repetition of the other thing has happened. Why? Because here in this chapter, a lot of the yajna being explained also. So this is done by them. Yajna is again, it's not a physical yajna, may not be. It's a mental, because the sannyasi sitting in tapasya in the aranya, he might not be doing the yajna, quite possible. So it is meant for that. So establishing these factors in the different way. So here, well, there is a point in it. It's not that it is just like that, because here he has explained about the Agni, Dakshinagni, Grihagni, like that, you see, where it's connected with the Veda. One Agni, the Agni is connected, we will tell you when it comes to that. Okay. So here in section 10, what happened? Once upon a time, there was a person called Upakosala. Upakoslo havai kamalayana satyakame jabale brahmacharya uvasa tasya ha dwadasha varshan agnin parichara sahcha smanyan anve vasanihi samavartya ratah kasmaiva na samavartayati. There was a person called Upakosala, son of Havai Kamalayana, who came. Now what happened? Satyakama has become a great guru after that. So he has come to son of Kamalayana, well-known Upakosala, stayed as a celibate with his Satyakama Jabala. He served Jabala's fires. Agni, lots of fires are there. Fires for how many? Dwadasha Varsha, 12 years he served. He is looked after the fires, because they all do the yajna. And while doing the yajna, the fire should not go off. It should be continuously on. 12 years, this boy, who is Upakosala, being a very dedicated person to Satyakama Jabala, who is already a guru, who Varsha Paricharayate, they served there and looking after that day and night with great honesty. Sarvatrataha Saswayas. Then what happened at the end of it? Jabala on his part, while affirming the graduation for the other students, did not certify him alone as a graduate. In the sense, all others who have, he was a caretaker of the Agni, the job of the student, one of the student. All the other students along with him, whoever has come, they all have been Deekshita. Yeah, they have got the Deeksha, and they went. Somebody went as Acharya, somebody went as Pravachak, somebody went as a teacher of meditation, somebody went as a tapasvi. Like that, each one has got their own talents. So depending on them, Acharya gave them the certifications and told them, okay, you go do the pracharana of the Vedas, you go do the pracharana of the Yajnas, you go and do the pracharana of the Vedanta, and you go pracharana of the Rigveda, and you go do tapasya for upliftment. You don't have to do anything. Like that he has qualified each one of them and divided them and sent them off. Their term was over, finished, gone. Only this man who 12 years constantly day and night with the honesty and sincerity, who did that, Upakosala, who took care of the Agni, he was not given the Diksha, and without giving the Diksha, the Jabala went out of the ashram. Out of the ashram in the sense he goes, the acharyas in between he goes for 1 or 2 years, they go for just for meditation, they will not come back. And suddenly he will appear again. So he went. This story is meant to show, here he writes, the author of this, Acharya Swamiji, he is writing that the story is meant to show as before the faith and austerity are the disciplines for acquiring the knowledge of Brahman. The story has been meant for that. We have already explained about faith and austerity, I think, much before. No? What is faith, what is austerity, I think in detail we have explained. So faith and austerity are the disciplines for acquiring the knowledge of the Brahman, is why the story has been explained. He says that it's a story. Okay, take it as that. So what happened? The next sloka says that, so when people were, a good student and very honest fellow, and how he alone, without giving any importance to him, all others have gone. Poor fellow was left out, all gone. Everybody has been assigned something and he is left out. Agni is finished because 12 years that thing is over. Now for the new one, new Agni has to be prepared and things like that. So what happened? Tam Jayo Vacha Tapto Brahmachari Kushalam Agnin Parijaraninma Twagnaya Pariprojan Prabrusma iti Tasmai Hyapyo Chaiva Pravasa Chakrehe. To him, Jaya Uvacha, who Satyakama Jabala's wife told, she felt very bad. She has seen this fellow slogging throughout 12 years of time. So she told, the wife told the brahmachari, endowed with austerity, have served the fires very well. I have seen that. May not the fires admonish you, hey Acharya? Please impart to him, without instructing him, how you left home. She told her, out of compassion, said that this boy had been doing well. Why don't you graduate him? Why don't you? A small recommendation, Yes. Kuch nahi chalega wahan par. No recommendation. So by the wife told, and he left home without instructing him. Even though he heard that, just left home without instructing him. Saha vyadhinam nashitum dagre tamacharya jayo vacha brahmacharin nashana kim nu nashnasi he vacha bahavaha hame asmin purushah kama nanapyaya vyadhibihi pratipurnasmi nashishyami.